February, and Punxsutawney Phil is full of crap. Look at this. Last couple days. Alright, so what we're going to do right now is daily routines. Make sure the chickens have water, food, because they're all hungry, waiting. I'm going to collect their eggs, their byproduct, and we're going to go from there. Look at them waiting. Collect these rainbows. If I can get them all off the feeder here. And now they're all gonna go under. Nobody else under there. Alright. Food. Diablo, get in there, Diablo. Alright. Switch out baskets here. I got 4 on top. 3 on bottom, 7 total, 8, 9. It's a good haul. Shit, duck egg. Duck egg. Nice, the duck's using that one. At least I can find them. Nothing there. Nothing there. So, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 duck eggs for the incubator. 28 days. Sure there's none on the floor. Alright, we'll need to clean out this water. Some water here in a little bit with that one. They're all fighting. Lost my goose. My goose got attacked by the dogs. Okay, chicken's fed. They should be good for the day. 3 large scoops for the ducks and all the chickens. Got 11 eggs here. And they got a little bit of water. I gotta go clean this big one out. Fill it up and bring it back, but I'll do that here in a little bit. Alright, Chicken Graham here with you with the question, what is an egg? I know typically we go to the grocery store, we buy our eggs, we crack them open, we throw them in a frying pan, we stir them up and mix it all together. Okay, 3 parts to an egg that most people think about is the egg shell, which we need to get to, the egg white, which most of the time your health eaters want to separate from the egg yolk, and of course the egg yolk, which is the high cholesterol fatty part of the egg. But truly, what is an egg? What is on the inside of an egg? What are the parts of an egg? What is an egg? Alright? Defined, an egg is an oval-shaped object that contains nearly all the necessary nutrients for life, minus vitamin C. Yeah, oval-shaped object, an egg. Okay? Even a duck egg. A duck egg is kind of a sharper, duck egg is kind of a sharper oval-shaped object that a duck lays. I was going to put this in the incubator, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that now. Egg shell, which contains the egg, is the harder outer part of an egg. The shell is about 12% of the weight of a large egg like this one. Could be 12% of a small egg as well. And out of the 25 hours that it takes to make an egg and come out of a chicken, 20 hours are dedicated to the eggshell alone. So it's an important part. It also has a lot of calcium. So if a human were to eat calcium, it would have enough calcium for a human to last them a while. Now there are 3 layers of an eggshell. There's the inner or mammillary layer, which encloses the inner and outer membrane, so it's the inside of the eggshell. There's the calcareous layer, made up of calcite crystals, which are long cylindrical crystals, kind of like your fingers being squeezed together, that stand on end. Some fuse together, leaving open pores, allowing moisture and carbon dioxide to escape, and allows oxygen to enter the egg into the air cell. And the last is the bloom or cuticle layer. This is the layer that gives the egg its color, like this brown one, and it seals the pores to prevent moisture loss and bacteria entering and infecting the egg. Now, in time, the outer layer eventually wears off, not the color, but the protective coating, and the pores do open up to help it breathe. But that is the bloom. The bloom holds the color. And if you were to crack this egg open, any egg open, you'll realize that the bloom is only the color of the egg, while the inside still holds no color, lack of color. That's pretty cool. Now, one of the parts that we are familiar with is the yolk. Did you know the yolk has a membrane? It's got to be contained somehow. So the yolk membrane is the outer layer of the yolk and holds the yolk together. The yolk is the yellow part of the egg that contains all the fat, some of the protein, and some nutrients of the egg. But the yolk isn't always yellow. You can actually change it to green, depending on what you feed your bird. The yolk nourishes the embryo when the egg is incubated and is the last part to be absorbed into the developing chick. So if you get a freshly hatched chick and you go and look at its belly, it'll be yellow. It'll have a yellow belly and kind of be clear. That's because the yolk is the last part that goes into the belly. And the chickens survive up to 72 hours on that alone after being hatched. Inside the egg, there are 2 membranes. There's the outer shell membrane, which is inside the eggshell. So it'll be what lines the eggshell. And then there's the inner membrane, which surrounds the albumin and contains it. The albumin is the egg white. Now there's an air cell inside the egg. The air cell is an air bubble or space that develops on the large rounded end of the egg between the inner and outer membrane. So if you're looking at your egg like this, and this will be the pointed end, the smaller end, the large rounded end is where the air cell forms. Okay, fresh eggs straight out of the chicken pen, which is the chicken butt, have no air cell. The air cell develops when the egg cools and the inner membrane gets pulled away from the outer membrane due to the shrinking inner contents of the egg. As the egg and embryo ages, moisture escapes through the pores and the air cell enlarges, pulling more oxygen through the pores into that air cell. When it's time for a chick to hatch, they'll first break through the inner membrane into that air cell, taking their first breath of air before they start working on the harder outer shell of the egg. Now the albumin or egg white is the transparent part of the egg that turns white when cooked. The albumin contains about 40 different proteins and water. There are 4 layers to this albumin. Okay, there's the outer thin, the outer thick, the inner thin, and the inner thick or the chalaziferous layer. It's kind of a big word. Alright, now you have the germinal disc or blastodisc. We already went over this in a previous video. It is a pale spot of cells on the surface of the egg yolk that eventually becomes the chicken when fertilized. And the chalaza, not to be confused with the chalaziferous, the chalaza are two cords that hold the chalaziferous layer to the shell membrane inside of the egg, protecting the egg yolk, keeping it centered in the egg. The cords are formed as the egg journeys through the oviduct. It rotates as it goes, twisting the ends of the chalaziferous layer on either end of the yolk. Now it's kind of like if the egg were the yolk, the chalaziferous would be like my arms, and it would hold it in place at each end of the inside of the eggshell. All right. When the egg is broken, the chalaza breaks free from the shell membrane and gets pulled back in towards the egg yolk, creating what looks like these little white knots. It'll be the only kind of white part compared to the clear albumin. This name, chalaza, derives from the Greek word chalaza, which means small knots, because it looks like small knots to them. Coming back to the blastodisc, when it's fertilized, it becomes a blastoderm. Like a Pokemon evolving, it changes as well as its name. The blastoderm, it have the white spot with a ring around it, like planet Saturn. The blastoderm is a group of organized cells that form into a set of clearly visible concentric rings on the egg yolk. And if you crack open your egg and you look at your egg yolk, or watch my previous video to see how it looks, you'll see it. It's plainly visible. And that is pretty much what an egg is. It's more than just an eggshell, egg yolk, egg white. There's a whole lot more to it. There's proteins, there's fat, there's just different parts to it that separate each other's part. So hopefully I educated a little bit more on that. Okay, now with Easter around the corner, there's a lot to do with eggs. We'll be concentrating on eggs a lot. We'll be boiling them. I have a couple of products that I want to go over, and we're going to see how well they work for boiling eggs compared to just boiling eggs. So keep watching.